watching The Circle, we're having fun this Monday morning. Through Mamma Mia, Mia Freedman has become the voice for a generation of Aussie women with more than 2 million page views for her website per month. Please welcome the very impressive Mia Freedman to the couch. So good to have you here. Now, part of the reason that we wanted to have you here on The Circle was because of what you're doing with your website. Now, so many people have tried to have a website that opens dialogue to Aussie women, but yours is the one that's worked. Why?
Well, I don't know. I think because it started very organically. You know, I was in magazines and then I was briefly in TV, which was just the nightmare of my life, as trying to be a TV executive, which I just was so bad at.
You were not.
I know, really I was. And then I just wanted a way to communicate with people directly, not through TV and not through a magazine. And so I just started writing a blog, actually. And for 3 years, it was just me with my laptop in my lounge room, blogging away, posting 6 times a day, doing everything myself. And it just sort of grew slowly. And then about 2 years ago, my husband came on board and went, look, maybe we can try to monetize this since you're working on it 15 hours a day. And he became the CEO because before that I'd probably made about, I don't know, $15 out of Google Ads in 3 years. And I was really raking in the dosh. And it was too hard to do both the aspects myself. So he came on board, which was a little bit nerve-wracking. And he handles the business and the tech side, and I handle the creative and the publishing side. And in the last 2 years, it's kind of turned into a business.
Part of the way that you've come to our attention is people that we really like Michelle Laurie, write for your website.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, I experienced a terrible controversy at the start of the year. Chrissy experienced something recently, and I really felt your presence there as somebody kind of keeping an eye on what was going on in the media. What's your philosophy for your website?
That's such a good question, Yumi, and it's about women supporting other women. I mean, you know, we have 500,000 women a month that come to Mamma Mia, and people can say, oh, the internet and women are our own worst enemies, and I don't believe that rubbish, you know. Lisa Wilkinson was my first boss, and she's one of my closest friends today, and I grew up. My career started with women nurturing me, and I've always believed that that's the way to go, and supporting each other.
She's someone I've worked with and loved as well, Lisa Wilkinson. What does she do that you hope to do to the next generation? Because I love watching you two on air, and I always imagine, because you came in and work experience.
Yeah, I did.
You talked about that you used to get Lisa Wilkinson coffees.
I did. And I was so grateful to get her coffee. Like, you know, if she'd have had a dog, I'd have washed it. I was just, you know, happy to be breathing the same air that she was. And she was an amazing boss, and she's since become an amazing friend in that she's 100% herself. She's very supportive of other women. Like, you meet women along the way who are threatened by other people's success. Yeah. And I have the opposite view. I believe that there's enough for everyone, and that the more there is, the more there is.
When a lot of times when you're introduced, it's the voice of women, you know, the voice of Australian women. What does that responsibility feel like?
Well, I would never say that about myself, because how can you? All I can speak about, the only person I can speak for is myself. And I believe, like I think you guys have, and that's why this show's so awesome, is about being honest. And I think that a lot of women who are in public positions only tell the good version of their lives, like, aren't I great, and my children only eat organic food, and this is my relationship, and we're just like so in love. And I think it's really important to talk about the crap stuff, like this is the job where I was crying my eyes out, and this is the day, you know, these are all the terrible things in my life. And I've written about miscarriages and awful stuff that's happened to me, and emotionally abusive relationships, and mistakes I've made with my kids, and forgetting to pick them up from after school care, and all of that stuff.
Sometimes though, women in the public eye that do admit their imperfections get pounced on.
You reckon?
Yeah.
What would you know about that, Chrissy?
No. What is it about human nature that that incites that kind of tearing down?
Yeah, it's true. Look, the tall poppy thing is very ugly, and I think that the internet, I've got a much thicker skin working online for 5 years, because when I was in magazines, if someone didn't like what you had to say, or they might write a letter, and by the time it got sent to you and you read it, it was a month later, and now everyone can jump on board. And that's one of the things I love about Mamma Mia, is that the other thing that, reason I wanted to work online, is that I loved that conversation. Because it's not just about what I think or about all the other women that write on Mamma Mia, and men. It's about everyone having a voice and everyone getting to have an opinion, whether you're a mum at home or you know, sitting on this couch.
And before we go, what I love is your honesty, Mia, with when I was talking about my husband last night, because my little girl keeps waking up all the time, and I love that you were so honest and said, look, we had someone come in and try and fix our sleep situation.
We did.
And you also prefaced it with, and we're lucky enough to be able to afford her.
Yes.
And so you're sharing that experience in your new book that's coming out.
I had a sleep whisperer because I just didn't have sleepers. My friends all had sleepers and I didn't. So I've heard about this woman called Elizabeth Sloan, and she came to my house and, you know, did this program for 3 nights, but it's expensive and she's only in Sydney, and it's something that I'd written about and people always wanted to know what her number was and everything. So I thought, why don't we try to write a book? And so we did an ebook that people can just download straight away, and to share that kind of program for people who are getting up through the night. Now, I got a sick baby at home. Well, he's not a baby, he's 3.5. So I was up about 18 times last night, and I was thinking, this used to be my every night. We had one woman who had twins. She was up with her twins 20 times a night every night, and she had 4 other kids. And you can't function.
No.
Like,
I was up about 6
mental.
times last night.
You're just nuts, you know. And we at least get to come in here and have someone put our hair and makeup on and everything. But
wow,
it's really hard.
I slept for 10 hours last night. It was great. Ladies and gentlemen, Mia Freedman.